Now settle in, grab a cup of tea, and let's talk about something that's been hanging over our wee island like a thick fog for centuries: the drink. Aye, alcohol. It's a topic as complex and dark as, well, ironically, a pint of plain. You might think it's just a bit of crack, a pint or two, a sing-song down the pub, and for many it is, but for far too many that crack turns into a cruel mistress, a shadowed path that leads to ruin. We're not just talking about a fondness for the black stuff here. We're talking about a deep, often heartbreaking struggle. For generations, we've had this reputation, the boozy Irishman, the paddy who loves his pint. And sure, it's been fodder for countless jokes and films. But underneath that forced laughter, there's a serious question. Why us? Why has Ireland had such a fraught, even tragic relationship with alcohol? It's almost a self-fulfilling prophecy, isn't it? The world expects us to drink, so we drink. The stereotype becomes our uniform, and sometimes it's easier to just wear it than try to shed it. It's a cultural performance, a role we've been assigned, and sometimes it feels like we're just playing along, even when the play turns tragic. And let me tell you, the reviews for this particular performance have been mixed. Some point to the Great Famine, that dark, starving spectre of our past, a trauma so profound, so utterly devastating, that it ripped through the very fabric of our society when everything is lost. Your land, your language, your dignity, what's left to numb the pain? And when that pain, that profound sense of powerlessness, is passed down, generation after generation, like a family heirloom you never asked for, well, drink sometimes becomes the only comfort, a quick, cheap escape from the echoes of a past we can't quite shake. But it's not just ancient history. Think of the isolation in rural communities, the lack of opportunities, the historical impact of emigration, and how alcohol is woven into nearly every social fabric, from christenings to wakes. It's the lubricant of our social interactions, the silent companion in our loneliness. Sure, what else is there to do becomes a dangerous kind of cultural acceptance, and we've lost some great ones to it, haven't we? Talented, brilliant minds, extinguished too soon by the relentless grip of alcoholism. You think of Shane MacGowan, God rest his soul, the poet laureate of the underdog, his voice a gravelly testament to a life lived hard and fast. A genius, no doubt, but one whose candle burned fiercely at both ends, fueled by the very thing that eventually took him from us. He was a man who seemed to embody the genius and the tragedy of Ireland all at once. Then there's the incomparable Richard Harris, Dumbledore, a powerhouse on screen, whose tumultuous relationship with alcohol was as legendary as his acting. And Brendan Behan, he was a phenomenal writer, the author of The Quare Fellow and Borstal Boy, a man whose wit was as sharp as a newly honed razor. When he spoke, the world listened, hanging on every brilliant, often scandalous word. He was the quintessential Irish literary rebel, charming, hilarious, and utterly captivating. Yet, he lived with a staggering thirst. Behan didn't just drink, he drank himself into the public consciousness, and sadly into an early grave. He was diagnosed with diabetes, but he kept drinking, often on live television, which was unheard of at the time. He became a kind of cautionary tale and a dark spectacle all at once. He died in 1964 at the age of 41. Think of the works, the plays, the poetry, the insight we lost because his talent was inseparable from his addiction. His life serves as a somber, heartbreaking reminder that alcoholism cares nothing for talent or potential. He was, to use his own words, a quid that had been spent far too quickly. These are the famous faces, but think of the thousands of fathers, mothers, sons, and daughters whose names you don't know, but whose struggles are just as real, just as heartbreaking. The celebrities just put a spotlight on a national wound. It's a complicated legacy, this history of the drink in Ireland. It's part of our culture, yes, but we have to be honest. It's also a sickness that demands attention, understanding, and compassion. We're finally starting to talk about it openly, moving away from the shame and into the light. Because the greatest crack isn't found at the bottom of a glass. It's found when we're truly present, truly well, and truly looking out for one another.